November is Child Safety and Protection Month. During this month, many try to raise awareness for a multitude of dangers which children face. One of these threats is choking, a device which is trying to keep children, but more people generally safe from choking, is a LifeVac. LifeVac is a device which works to clear the airway and is invented by Arthur Lih. Arthur Lih began his work in business where he found great success. From there, he spent some time pursuing woodworking and building until he heard of the story of a young child who died after choking on a grate. As a result, he created a device which could prevent choking tragedies. Joining me today in Inbox to discuss the device is Arthur. Thanks for coming in. To begin, can you expand on the moment that inspired you to create LifeVac?
Well, I was visiting my friend in the hospital. His mom was having a procedure. I was just hanging out with him, and he pointed at a gurney, and those steel gurneys, and he explained that the last time he was there, a 7-year-old was on that gurney that had choked to death. My daughter was 7 at the time. I had an accident when I was younger and lost my friend right in front of me, and all that pain and fear came up, and I couldn't understand why a child would choke to death. You know, we have procedures and protocols, and went on to find out that those don't always work. And I did something to try and be able to save my daughter at first.
How does LifeVac compare with other first aid techniques, namely the Heimlich maneuver?
Well, we encourage a full approach to stopping choking tragedies. You know, with 5,000 deaths a year, it's a very common tragedy. And it's awareness, training, and LifeVac. So we encourage people to get trained in abdominal thrust, back blows, and chest compressions. But the sad fact is they don't always work. So the next phase is a LifeVac, which is a non-invasive, super simple little plunger. You push it, you pull it, and it removes the objects and saves your loved one's life.
Can you tell us more about the device itself?
Yeah, I should have had one. It's just a little plunger, and basically you push it down just like a sink plunger, and there's a mask that goes over the face. You pull it, and it creates a suction and pulls the object out. There's a valve, but when you push it down, the air vents outside the body, and then when that ball valve locks, it creates a suction and removes the object. It's super simple. I designed it to be relatively panic-proof because as a parent, I knew I'd be scared. It's non-invasive. Nothing goes in the body. There's no tube to push anything in. So we just saved our 100th child yesterday, and it just shows what the tragedies that can be avoided if we're properly prepared and are trained and have a LifeVac.
Why is this device needed, particularly for children?
Well, sadly, choking is the 4th leading cause of accidental death. It's one of the leading causes of death in children. They have small windpipes, just a little tiny windpipe, and they tend to pick things up, put them in their mouth, very susceptible to choking. Little tiny lungs, so the back compressions may not work. So it's just sadly a common cause of death in children that we're trying to stop. And 100 children saved, we're getting there. But people like you help, and we're so grateful for that.
Now that you're mentioning that there's 100 children saved, can you share some of these success stories?
You know, I've been blessed to meet a bunch of them, and it's definitely some of the greatest moments of my life. The first child I met his name was Killian. He was choking on carrots just before his first birthday, and I got to hold him in my arms and look in his face and look over at the grandparents and the parents and see the relief and gratitude. Losing a child, just devastation for the family, the community, and you can't really explain the gratitude for that moment, but it really keeps us going to stop it from ever happening.
Now, what kind of reactions are you typically getting from people?
Well, we've been going at it for 10 years now, and thank you to people like yourself that finally get the word out. We're really seeing some momentum. The appreciation of the parents is incredible. It's hard to describe, the gratitude that they express to us, And we express it right back, because when they share those stories, we save more children. And, guys like people like you, and get the word out, we can save them all.
So how do you envision LifeVac technology, how it's going to grow in the future? What is the future for this device?
Well, the primary goal at the moment is homes, parents being able to save either their children or their elders. We have mission of school and special needs. People in a wheelchair may have no option without a LifeVac, and that's unacceptable. Special needs with certain neurological conditions choke more. So you got your families, your schools, and special needs education. And then eventually, like, see restaurants, fire departments. I mean, we have them all. Police officers have saved lives. EMS have saved lives. We can eliminate 5,000 tragedies a year if we just got to keep going and be blessed that people like you help get the word out.
So for our viewers at home, how can they find out more about this device?
If in Canada, you go to lifevac.ca. In the US, it's lifevac.net. There's information. There's actually, you can view. We just had a life saved at a restaurant in South Carolina. You could see the footage. A gentleman races to his car, grabs a LifeVac, saves a baby. Once again, just before 1 year birthday. It's incredible footage. I encourage people to watch it, and you can see how a horrible tragedy turned into a community celebrating the 1 year birthday of that child.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Arthur. We really appreciate it, and we've loved to hear all about your product.
I am so grateful. I appreciate you and everybody. The more we get out there, the more lives we save. Thank you so much.
And thank you to our viewers at home for tuning in. This has been Julia Cosby, and you're watching Inbox. Like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notifications to stay up to date on all of our latest content.